Welcome to the A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal podcast, where each week I, Dr. Mal, share life lessons and motivation to kickstart your Monday. Whether you're starting your day or winding down, join me or me and my future guest for a burst of positivity and a fresh perspective. Let's make Mondays meaningful together. Greetings and happy Monday, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Mallory D. McCoy, and welcome to this week's episode of A Monday Moment with Dr. Mal. As always, may this broadcast bring you what you need in the present moment. May my light exude positivity and kindness, and may my love be extended to all who could use a little extra. Ashe. Let's seize the moment. Hello, everyone. I'm so thankful to be back. As you know, my run of show is pretty standard. Oh, it's not pretty standard. It's standard to me. I start off in gratitude, and I have so many things to be grateful about. But I chose my highlights, my top 3 this week. So first, I want to say that I'm grateful to the Alive Podcast Network and Angel for breathing new life into this podcast. I was not done podcasting, but I was moving on to another idea before Angel asked me to join this platform. So here I am, and here we are, and I'm incredibly thankful for this moment. I'm also grateful to my girls who invited me to go camping with them. Okay, so y'all, anybody that knows me, anybody that's close to me knows that Mallory and camping don't often go, or actually at all, go in the same thought or the same idea. So the fact that I was out there camping, I pitched my tent, I had my little chair outside my setup, I got in the river, we floated the river, we did 8 miles on a raft, and I was rowing, sitting up in the front the whole way. I don't even know how to swim. I had my life jacket on. I saw snakes in the water. I saw snapping turtles in the water, fish in the water, all the wildlife that you can think of, including a bear snorting around our campsite at 2:22 in the morning. Ask me how I know. It was just all of that. It was very primitive, but it was mostly spiritual and healing. And I'm just so grateful that I had that opportunity. And I'm just grateful that it went like that, because I'm really excited to do it again. And I'm excited to implement it into as a part of my life. And so thank you so much to my girls. Shout out to Stephanie and Latrice because we had such a beautiful time. And shout out to the campsite that we went to, which is called Big Elk, and it's in Pineville, Missouri. I shouldn't have gave away my secrets because I will be back in the building, but it was fantastic. And the campgrounds were clean and safe. And I mean, aside from the wildlife that was trying to eat us at night, I'm just playing. One thing that I know that I will do different on a camping trip is make sure I take a female urinal. I did have it, but it was in my car. I carry it because I'm a runner. And both nights I had to pee in the middle of the night. And I was like, I am not leaving this tent. And thankful, because the second night with that bear snorting around our campsite, and it was right next to my tent, I was like, okay, I know I was supposed to be not doing that in the middle of the night. So extremely grateful for that experience, and I can't wait to do it again. And lastly, I'm thankful to everyone who has tuned into this podcast before and is tuning in right now, listening to my voice, and will continue to tune in to this podcast. Make sure that you subscribe to this podcast on the Alive Podcast Network. The website or the app works just the same, and I would be so grateful for your support in that venture. I forgot to say, I also will be still continuing to stream the video on YouTube, so you can check that out. Now, you know I love me a good definition, and I am #team facts over feelings. And so I always, before I get into my show topic, I always drop some facts. This week's show topic is about selling yourself short. So, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, sell yourself or oneself short is an idiom meaning to not consider yourself or oneself to be a valuable or to be as valuable or good as they are. Some of you who are going in your Rolodex, like, man, I remember learning about idioms in third grade. It's like, is for another example that I can quickly access is it's raining cats and dogs. Well, we know it's not literally raining cats and dogs, and we're not literally selling yourself short. So that's an idiom. Basically, you're underestimating your skills and your abilities. There are many ways that one can sell themselves short, including in their career, all types of relationship dynamics, dating, everyday conversation, and life in general. In a society where people choose to define themselves by what they do and not who they are, there is an environment, a rank environment of constant comparison to others, and how you do what you do is measured against someone else's efforts. There is no data about that. That's just a lived experience. Ask me how I know. I actually went on to find out that there is a formal term that therapists use for this phenomena, and it's called self-handicapping. And the APA dictionary describes it as a strategy of creating obstacles to one's performance so that future anticipated failure can be blamed on the obstacle rather than the one who is at lack of ability. If one succeeds despite the handicap, it brings extra credit or glory to themselves. So here, the key is that you actually don't put that much effort in to avoid getting hurt, avoid failure, or bruise your self-esteem. According to an article that I found from Psychology Today, there are two types of self-handicapping: claimed or behavioral. Claimed is when you prefer to keep a previous failure confidential and come up with excuses to justify past performances or to manage expectations for future ones. Behavioral self-handicapping occurs when you achieve some public success but doubt your ability to sustain it, leading you to develop habits like procrastination or lack of preparation. These habits create a self-imposed handicap, providing an excuse if your performance declines. And I will tell you that I am certainly one that has behavioral self-handicapping. Pick me, that is me. Everyone has experience with this because it happens in our day-to-day on a small or big scale. I'm sure you can think of at least one time you sold yourself short, which brings me to my topic of the week. I titled this show, Don't Sell Yourself Short, for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason the title resonated with me is because I have a few recent instances where I sold myself short. For those of you tuning in for the first time, you should know that in May 2024, I completed my doctoral degree. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just giving you a little backstory to what I'm about to say. But I would be remiss to say that I am not proud of that, because I am certainly proud of my completion, and I'm proud of myself because it was a huge accomplishment. And the path for me to get there was not easy at all. In fact, I call my dissertation my pandemic baby, because I pushed through so many human life changes while pushing through completing this big task. And I spoke about this on my previous podcast. Go check out Presenting Dr. Mal, because I talk about it. I mention this right now because after finishing it, I was so relieved to be done, and I wanted to just bask in the freedom of not being jailed to research on my computer in an effort to complete my dissertation before I'd have to pay more money to keep my student status at the college. Instead of being able to just bask in my freedom, I had to field inquiries about what my future plans were, because people around me were so quick to put me in a job role so that the the superiority complex of their ego was satisfied when they subconsciously compared themselves to me. That is not an assumption. That's just something naturally that we do. That's just something naturally that the ego does. We ask people what they do after asking them what their name is, because not only is it something that's societally accepted, but also subconsciously, that is what the ego uses to create a hierarchy. So, the truth is, though, I had an idea about what I wanted to do. I've been talking about it the whole entire time, and so when I got to the end and people were like, "What are you going to do?" I'm like, "I already told you." But uh, the majority of people that were actually asking me now that I finished didn't deserve for me to spend my time explaining it. Um, Simply not because I don't care about them, but simply because like there's nothing they're going to be able to do with the information once they got it. And things being in development, you got to keep them quiet, because how are they going to grow? The ones that are closer to me, though, were asking me what my plans were. And I couldn't go, I didn't really feel like I should go into detail, because not to say anything about people closer to me, but this is for anybody. If make others happy by being in a box that makes them happy, they will try to clip your wings if you try to do anything different. And baby, I'm trying to fly. I'm trying to fly abandonedly into the sun. So I just really didn't feel like I should explain that to them either. So, P.S. There's a whole lot of statements that I just made that are serving as messages. So I hope that you were able to receive the message. So the first two times I sold myself short were with my professional goals. After graduating, I knew I didn't want to go back into the educational box, but I know that I want to advocate for students outside the box. All students, but specifically Black girls in suburban spaces, which are the subjects of my dissertation. Yet my indoctrination to be comfortable in a W-2 job didn't prevent me from applying for jobs. In fact, I applied for over 100 jobs. I didn't count each one of them, but I know I was sitting at the computer doing it. And for the ones that were courteous enough to let me know, I received just as many rejection letters. And there actually came a point where I was just like, I'm being blocked because I know this is not what's meant for me. I'm actually, what I said I was going to do is actually what I'm meant to do. But I don't know, I'm fighting the indoctrination of just going into a job and others' expectation of me now that I have finished this big thing. So anyway, at the direction of spirit, though, because spirit comes through to me, I stopped putting my efforts there and pivoted to meditating on what situation fulfills my life and what I'm actually here to do. We're all incarnated to do something. And we each have a purpose. So I'm like, I need to figure out what that is quickly. And then, of course, it came to me. I need to focus on my professional goals and tune everyone else out, including myself. Two of my professional goals with my research were to present at an education conference and create a business or nonprofit to put into action what my research shows needed to exist. And I didn't want my research to be stuck in a book, because right now it's stuck in a book and it's stuck on my computer. So I wanted to make it grow because it's really important work. Anyway, as far as my business is concerned, I thought I'd be forging the business path myself, but during the solicitation period for survey participants, a woman, a local person, reached out to me and told me that she was interested in doing the same work that I'm interested in doing, which made me excited. We connected and we found that our passions aligned for this work. And so we went to start the business together. And we have a business now. It's called Bell's Garden, and it was created July 2024 with the mission to empower Black girls and women in suburban communities by establishing a safe and brave space to facilitate authentic conversations and provide tailored resources, mentorship, and educational opportunities to facilitate personal, academic, and professional growth. So I would be remiss at this point if I didn't shout out my business partner, Aisha Williams. Thank you so much. She is incredible to work with. You got to get you a business partner like her, because anything that needs to be done, she's like, got it, got it, got it. So I'm just blessed. I'm so thankful. She literally vibed to me. I always say vibe to your tribe, and she literally vibed to me. So I love that. And I should say, my professional goal of presenting at a conference wasn't actually the goal, but when people started asking me, where can I read your dissertation? It is online, it's on my college website, but like I said, I wanted this research to go a little bit farther. And so I was thinking, how educators can implement what I found in my research in their school or in the school system, just period. And then in the American school system specifically. And so I started looking at different conferences that align with my work. And I found two conferences. I'm sure there are more, but I stopped at two. I found a local conference, and then I found a national conference, and I figured out what their proposal requirements were. And I submitted the proposal to both of them. And with the proposal for the national conference, actually, I didn't fill the proposal out in its entirety because I had some unknowns at the time. And I think one part asked me like what I did. And I was like, I don't even like to talk about what I do because I like to talk about more who I am. But that was like, okay, I got it. And then we had not fully got Bell's Garden under wraps. And so there was some blanks that I had in there. And then I actually focused my attention more on the local conference proposal. And because I felt I would have a better chance at getting the local proposal accepted because I knew the people on the board, and I'm from Kansas City. So, well, I can say that I'm from Kansas City. Anyway, but I am proud to say that as of today, lo and behold, although I haven't heard back from the local conference, it's not until November, so maybe there's a window. But I will be presenting at the National Alliance for Black School Educators Conference in Atlanta in November because my proposal was accepted for the national conference. I was floored because I didn't expect it. And again, that's a space where I sold myself short. So I was like, okay, not going to get it. And then got it. What? And then the last example of me selling myself short recently was with this show. I started this show while completing the last part of my dissertation, and it premiered this at the beginning of this year, January 1st, 2024. And it started as a live show. And every week I produced it. I took care of all of the creative marketing and digital designs, and I streamed it to my Facebook pages, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube for 6 months straight, every Monday, 8:28. It started AM, and then I had to switch to PM because of stuff happening in my life. But it was a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice. But my loyal viewers were telling me and encouraging me to keep going. Honestly, what may have felt like therapy for them was actually therapy for me. Doing this podcast and in this way is very healing for me because my voice was muted at a young age. I've always been big. I've always had a big energy, and sometimes big energies can make people feel uncomfortable. And so they try to mute you. They try to put you in their box. And sometimes they can be successful, especially for a people pleaser like myself. And so anyway, this has helped me to move beyond my people pleasing behaviors that were at a detriment to myself. Anyway, in June, I decided I would take a break from broadcasting every week for July, which is my birthday month. The whole month is my birthday month. And I'm not the Cancer side, I'm the Leo side. And I just turned 40. I wanted to celebrate myself in a huge way. And so this was huge to me. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go back, look at these episodes, and I'm going to choose 40 different 40 different clips that really speak to me, and I hope that they speak to others. And so I did. I went back, did the work. I did 40 clips of my show for 40 days, one clip a day. I didn't expect anything to come from my efforts. I was just doing it as a gift to the world because I'm a gift to the world. And I have even considered trashing this idea altogether and starting another podcast with a different theme. Then on July 16th, I received an unexpected message from Angel, the CEO and founder of the Alive Podcast Network, saying that my podcast caught her attention and she thinks that it aligns to the shows that's already on her network. And I can't tell you how excited I was. I was certainly humbled that day. And after researching her platform, she's the first Black-owned, woman-owned podcast network in the nation. And so people who know, if you know how important that is to me. And speaking with her personally, we got to do a virtual call. I made the commitment to join the network. And so I own my show. I still produce my show, but now I have a content manager and my podcast will be streaming, or if you're watching this and later, it will be streaming globally on all major podcast platforms. And never would I have thought or imagined that I'd be right here, right now. But again, I sold myself short. So that's the reason why I didn't. And so what am I saying to you? If you're listening to my message today, my call to action this week is for you to assume your place at the top. You are not, we are not selling ourselves short. We know our worth. We recognize what we bring to the table. We don't sleep on our skills, talents, and strengths, and we constantly remind ourselves of our greatness. We know what we're reaching for because our personal and professional goals are high. We deserve nothing less. We feel deeply that every step forward is progress. We speak life into ourselves daily and remind ourselves that we are capable, worthy, and powerful. We turn our lessons into blessings and keep it moving. We use our voice to speak up for what we deserve and don't hold back for others around us. If they want us to shine differently, baby, they're going to have to go to another room because our light is taking up all the space in every room we're in. Our tribe is positive and uplifting, and their light only accentuates ours. We never let a day go by where we are not growing or glowing. We can take constructive criticism with grace and allow it to make us better, but not bitter. We step out on faith because we are not afraid to go after what we want. And when opportunities knock, we are answering the door because we bet on ourselves all day, every day. We do not apologize for taking care of ourselves because we have to give ourselves oxygen before we can save anyone else. Ooh, preach it. Our peace is intact. Our nervous system is regulated, and we will not run ourselves ragged trying to do all the things. We know the best leaders know how to delegate tasks, and since we are the best, we're delegating those tasks. And lastly, we will celebrate ourselves always and unapologetically. We will celebrate our successes and let people see us shine because we earned it, baby. And most of all, not only are we selling ourselves short, we will not permit anyone else to sell us short. Mm-hmm. And to wrap up today's episode, I will leave you and will always leave you with a quote or two and a list of affirmations. I only have one quote today. And it's not attributed to anyone, but it spoke to me heavily. If you aren't being treated with love and respect, check your price tag. Maybe you marked yourself down. It's you who tells people what you're worth. Get off the clearance rack and get behind the glass where they keep the valuables. Mm-hmm. And then I have 10 affirmations for you. And you know what I love about affirmations? If one speaks to me, I just keep saying it over and over, or I even write it on my bathroom mirror. So when I see myself, I see the affirmation. I am worthy of success, love, and all the good things life has to offer. My skills, talents, and abilities are valuable and unique. I deserve to be heard, respected, and appreciated. I trust myself to make decisions that honor my worth and potential. I am confident in my abilities and fearless in pursuing my goals. I will not settle for less than I deserve in any area of my life. My voice matters and my contributions are meaningful. I embrace my strengths and acknowledge my achievements with pride. I choose to surround myself with people who uplift and inspire me. And lastly, I am continuously growing, evolving, and becoming the best version of myself. I love that so much. Well, that's all for me this week. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for tuning in to a Monday Moment with Dr. Mal, now proudly a part of the Alive Podcast Network. You can find this show on the Alive Podcast Network at alivepodcastnetwork.com. There's an app for that in your Play Store or your App Store. And you can find this podcast streaming across your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Next week, please tune in. I'm doing a show called Wait Your Turn. Because, again, ask me how I know. Okay. Until then, love and peace to all of you. Have the very best week.